So one of the most commonly asked questions that I probably get, whether it's on, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc., is, do I need a degree to get a job in film? And the answer is no. All you need to be able to do is, can you do the job? I cannot tell you one single time ever on set from any client, whether it's a music video label, a brand like Converse, whatever, has asked me, can I see your film degree? It's, can you do the work? So going back to, do you really want to spend all that time and money at film school for something that you honestly don't really even need? You don't need a film degree to get into the industry, to get a job. All you have to be able to do is do the work and do the job. So what you're really getting from film school is the knowledge of how to do the job. But if you can learn all that information, the skills, the art, and the tech behind the job without having to go to film school, without having to spend all that time and money, why wouldn't you?
How is this going to be different? How is this course going to be better? Having gone to film school, I can touch on the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll start with the good. The good thing I got out of film school was the connections, or the people that I met. I met other DPs, I met other aspiring directors, creatives, focus pullers, gaffers. So I met a lot of crew. I was able to leave film school with a Rolodex of people that I still hit up today. Having graduated 4 years ago, I still work with a lot of the ACs and a lot of gaffers. A lot of people that I work with today are people that I met in film school. But I think if you were to sort of put those two together, $100,000 and 4 years of my time for some people in my phone that I can call if I have a gig, I don't know if that really balances out the bad. What did I not like about film school? The thing that I think is often overlooked is film school. There is school involved. If you're trying to get a bachelor's in fine art, a BFA in film, BFA in cinematography, I don't know, every school's got a different curriculum. You still have to get your GE. You still have to go to math. You still have to take English and all the stuff you thought you left in high school and you're like, all right, I'll never have to do that again. If you go to film school, more often than not, you have a school where there's a cinematography or filmmaking school and you take classes there, but you're also needing to get a GE. So I found myself really struggling because I was always skipping class to go to set or, just to, work on, because that was the idea of going to film school is you want to work on films, but at the end of the day, you're being kind of pulled in multiple directions. So you could either be the film student that goes to all their classes, but then misses out on a lot of set and film, experience, or you could bail on all your classes and go work on all the sets and then not graduate or even get a degree. So it was always sort of this weird tightrope I felt I had to walk, as a DP or someone who was going to this school. And the other thing that's really tricky about film school is a lot of your professors aren't really super down with, oh, I got a paid gig, I'm gonna skip your class. They don't care. If you miss more than 3 classes, you usually take an F or fail. So to have a film school curriculum that doesn't really always teach you film, where you're always having to kind of learn the other elements to get your degree, I found was honestly just years of my whole time there was wasted just trying to check those other boxes to get a degree. And wholeheartedly, I actually never even got a degree because I just never ended up taking the Spanish. So I kind of just spent a lot of money to not even have a piece of paper. The ugly truth about film school is a lot of the curriculum is pretty dated. Unfortunately, their curriculum is based off of having worked in the industry 30 years ago. You have directors, you have cinematographers who worked in the film industry, potentially, if you're lucky, 30 years ago. So a lot of their, course notes and a lot of the stuff they have to offer is from an era of filmmaking that could not be further from what it is today. We're filmmakers that are more modern. We grew up on the internet. We grew up watching tutorials. We know that a very viable ways to make money is shoot music videos. And a lot of professors don't even teach you about music videos, let alone they sort of dismiss it as a legitimate means to make money.
So for me, when I was going to film school, I kind of have a crazy horror story it's out there publicly. A lot of people know about it just through different podcasts and stuff, but I briefly just want to touch on it because it's something that I think a lot of people can either relate to or will end up experiencing themselves. But I was going to film school. And again, I was kind of a loner a little bit. I was kind of always off doing my own thing because right around The year where we started working on productions, I had a DSLR and I was always running off and shooting music videos for artists like Kyle, Super Duper Kyle, Futuristic, Samson, Sam King, DY, Hoodie Allen. And I was kind of going off and doing these low level indie music videos. I started my own YouTube channel. I'd shoot these music videos, throw them up on my YouTube channel, and I started to grow a big following, not only kind of for the videos themselves, and the music and everything, but also the filmmaking side of it as well. And so I ended up missing quite a bit of classes when it came to my film courses, because I'd run off to California for a day to shoot a music video, and it didn't sit well with a couple of my film professors. And I had one pull me into his office hours because he wanted to talk to me, and he straight up told me, he said, "I could fail you right now." And I kind of posed the question of like, hey, like, I'm doing what I came to film school to do. Like, I'm out making videos that are out there publicly that people are watching, getting thousands and at the time probably hundreds of thousands of views, and I'm getting paid for it. Like, why would you fail me like that? And I understand I'm missing some classes and not fully living up to your curriculum, but isn't this what I came to film school to do? And he straight up told me that he could send my stuff to 5 directors he knows, and they would all say it sucks, that I wasn't any good, the videos weren't good. And it just kind of baffled my mind that this was the person who was supposed to teach me filmmaking and help me grow as a filmmaker and send me out into the world to get these jobs, but instead was over here putting me down when I was over here on a trajectory of going up and doing what I came to film school to do.
And another thing about film school that's really tricky, depending on which film school you go to, is there's no guarantee that you'll even get to do what you want to do. And let me sort of wind that back. If you go into, say, USC, I had a buddy who went to USC, so the story is a bit anecdotal, and you want to be a cinematographer, their curriculum or their program doesn't even allow you to touch a camera until your senior year. So sophomore year or freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, you're just learning from a book. And if you're a DP, you're like me, a visual learner. You learn by doing, you learn by seeing. You don't learn from a textbook, So to spend your first 3 years paying for school, missing out on set just to like read a bunch of books, and then your senior year rolls around, you finally get to pick up a camera, you finally get to put some stuff in your reel, shoot some thesis films. But wait, the thing that a lot of these schools do, if the curriculum is over impacted, you have to apply to be a DP to shoot a thesis film. So you just spend 3 years at USC, one of the most prestigious film schools in the United States, to potentially be a DP. In my friend's instance, he literally waited till his senior year. There was too many other DPs, so they told him he had to be a sound mixer. So he just spent 4 years going to USC and didn't even get to shoot a single film, didn't even get to put the camera on his shoulder, didn't get to shoot a single thesis film. Like, what a waste, you know what I mean? Like, if that's what you want, there are plenty of film schools in the United States that will give you that. What we're trying to do is pivot away from this traditional model of, something to that effect, and really just give you like the spark notes, essentials of what you need to do to get in the field and start making movies.
So that's our goal. That's our plan with this, is to kind of meet in the middle and, allow people to learn everything they need to learn without actually having to go to a physical film school. We want it to be a community. We want to share knowledge. We want to share that information. I've grown up on YouTube teaching people how to do things. So this is the next step for us, is sharing, creating a platform where literally you can learn to become an amazing filmmaker and cinematographer.